ShinRobjira.
You all voted, and by 48% majority, today we are going to be talking about the Diamond Select Godzilla Minimates Series 1 through 3. Size does not matter, as Godzilla and his Kaiju pals are reborn as Minimates from Diamond Select in the years 2014, 15, and 16. Series 1 consisted of a standard Godzilla, Mothra, Titanosaurus, and Gigan. Series 2 featured a Heat Ray Godzilla, Jet Jaguar, Mechagodzilla 1974, and Hedorah. While Series 3, the final series, featured Burning Godzilla, Rodan, Megalon, and 2 Mothra larvae. While these things are small and very boxy black looking, they're honestly really cool. They're not for everyone, yes, much like Diamond Select's Vinimates, which seemingly replaced the Minimates in terms of Godzilla. But like I always say with the likes of Bandai HG and then some, for things so small, the paint and detail really do speak volumes. And up first, let's talk about Series 1. Gigan, Titan, and Muth. Ah yes, my favorite Godzilla kaiju, Muth. So, up first we have Godzilla, and right off the bat, I gotta say, the likeness, face-wise, is a little bit on the derp side. In fact, I would actually say that Godzilla is probably my least favorite of all of these. Not that I hate him or dislike him to any sense, but I don't know. That just... I don't know, man. I just don't know. But anyway, in taking a look at the paint and detail, this is very nicely done, very nicely painted. A little bit of a schmutz on the lower mouth over there, but for the most part, it's nothing that I can really sneeze at. Diamond Select did a rather bang-up job when it comes to the detail, and the paint job might not be for everybody, but you do have to give them credit. Now, it's not just paint and molded-in details that we have to talk about, as there are some printed-on details as well. You're mostly just going to get them on the thighs, knees, and shins, both on the front and on the sides over here, as displayed, but you won't be getting them on the back of the legs. You'll also be getting them on the arms, but not on the opposing side of said arms. Although credit is due, there are details on these little Godzillian paws over here, top and bottom, and despite not being the biggest fan of how Godzilla turned out, I do have to give Diamond Select the benefit of the doubt. Well, not the benefit of the doubt, but I have to give them loads and loads of praise, as this looks awesome. The standard Diamond Select Minimate really doesn't look like this, so the fact that they were able to capture a likeness of Godzilla, even though I don't find it to be all that accurate, is very praiseworthy. And something that Gamer Manila brought up to me when talking about the Minimates and the Vinimates, it's honestly really nice to see them in this weird format, just because it really does bring forth a sense of a guy in a suit. Yet again, this is what the Minimates normally look like, so the fact that they outfitted these with these pullovers and everything with tails and heads and all that is honestly really cool. But that's enough of Derpzilla over here. Let's move on to the next figure. Up next we have Gigan, and we're going to take his little standoff over here. And Gigan is easily one of the more impressive ones, especially out of Series 1. Just look at this sadistic robo chicken boy. He looks great. They even painted the little tongue in his mouth, bruh. And look at all those golden scales. So very well done. Turning the figure to the backside over here, we can see that Gigan has his sails. Looks like we got some bubbles or some crackles going on over here, but that doesn't bother me too much because the detail that is on these, even though it's very minimal, does look very nice. Although you could totally tell these were green before they painted them, because the green's kind of poking through. But alas, the frosted tips, the details, and the paint, very noteworthy. And the gold paint on Gigan's tail over here is a little bit on the messy side, especially when it comes to the iced off caps over here. But this is super duper small, and in all honesty, it looking as good as it does from the front and even from the sides over here, I really can't take points off for just a muffy looking tail. And I also do have to give Diamond Select a lot of credit for the detail at the feet. It looks like folding rubber and everything like that. They're not just a bland brick of foot over here. So again, I really have to give Diamond Select a lot of praise with these because they went all out for the look. Moving on to Titanosaurus. Titanosaurus looks awesome. And just like Godzilla, he's going to have printed on details on the fronts and sides of his legs and on the tops of his arms. And they do look rather nice on both sides. And just like Godzilla, we're going to get detail on the back and the top of the hands, but they're going to be specifically detailed to Titanosaurus's pimply look. And that's another thing I really have to praise Diamond Select for. Instead of just reusing pieces, recycling pieces and all that, they created mold-specific pieces and prints for these tiny little things. Look at how small these are compared to my big-ass head. That's impressive, and that is absolutely worthy of praise, don't you think? And just look at this skin, man. It's detail you can feel. Yeah, Titanosaurus does look a little doofy when it comes to the head, but I just can't hate this thing. It looks so good, even if he does look like an emotionally confused dinosaur with lobster antennae. And taking a look at the Titano titties and ab features over here, nothing amazing in terms of detail, but they're all properly represented and separated. You got some Misty looking paint over here though. And I guess the teeth could have been done a little bit better. They're painted kinda crookedly. But seeing as how these mouths can't open, it's a miracle they look good at all. More praises for the sails on the back of Titanosaurus' head, neck, back, and in between his tail over here. Now I do have to correct myself in one little categorum. Yeah, they didn't recycle the hands, but they did recycle the feet. These are clearly the same feet they used for Godzilla, but is that really a downside? Not taking points off, just wanted to mention it. Yeah. Capping off Series 1, we have everybody's favorite Godzilla kaiju, Moth. So Mothra over here comes with a different stand. This one's a bit more on the rubberier side and is going to attach to her abdomen and chest over here. As much as I love the way Gigan came out, I have to give it to Diamond Select on Mothra. They killed it with her wings. The paint, the print, whatever have you, is so lovingly done, but it isn't perfect. We've got some run-on sentences over here on the wings, some spotty orange paint, which could have used another coat, and some bubbling light yellow paint over here as well. They're not perfect, but I do honestly feel they are rather fantastic. Moving on to Mothra's face over here, though. We have some metallic-y bluish silver for the eyes, and Mothra's face is kinda on the terrifying side for me personally. It's like a demon muffin insect is trying to zap my soul through its eyes. But again, I have to sing my praises for the detail that was put into this vile muffin top head. The paint on the back of Mothra's head is rather consistent, and the printing on her back is rather Dr. Seussian, which is not a bad thing. Then we have the detail for Mothra's bug butt over here, the thorax, which is nice. And as you can see, it was properly separated on the opposing side, with her strangely cinnamon stick looking legs and feet on the underside as well. Fantastic in absolutely every sense. I'm going to be giving Moth and the majority of Series 1 a solid star in terms of paint and detail, but when it comes to likeness, Gigan, Titanosaurus, and Mothra are all gonna get solid stars, but Godzilla's gonna get just a bit of a half a star, yeah. I just can't get over this puppy dog dopey look that he has. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of how Godzilla looks. Now, we're gonna get into articulation, but I'm only going to cover this once because they all essentially have the same amount of articulation. The only time I will be talking about articulation again is if it differs from the majority. So when it comes to the majority representation, I am going to be using Godzilla. So Godzilla's head can go all the way around like so. These arms can go all the way around, but you're gonna have to be careful because the arms can pop off, and these little boxy cutouts for the body are going to limit movement when moving all the way around. There will be a bend at the elbow like so. The hands can move at the wrist over here, all the way around. The legs can move out about this far. They can move forward and they can move back about this far as well. There will be a decent bend at the knee over here, as you can see. Can't really kick forward, but can kick back. There will also be a minor swivel at the waist, which, like I said before, will be stopped by this boxy body cutout. And there will be a swivelier at the ankle over here. Honestly, that's a solid star as far as I'm concerned. You can get these things into some bare minimum poses, but it's still nice for what you paid for. But now we have to talk about Mothra, because as you can see, she's different from the other figures. The wings will be able to swivel all the way around like so. Mothra's butt over here can move all the way around as well. And Mothra does indeed have a ball joint at the neck over here, which is technically a mini-mate's head. So you can at least get her to look left, look right, look up, look down, and you can rip her frickin' face off, revealing the Ona hole. My pinky has become the moose. That's pretty much it for Series 1. Let's move on to Series 2. Alrighty, Series 2, I have to come clean about. I have a huge bias for Series 2. Mechagodzilla and Hedorah are two of my favorite Godzilla mini-mates from Diamond Select, and Jet Jaguar came out pretty cool. Although I hate to admit it, I do kind of feel the same about Godzilla. Although he does come with a heat ray that is removable, and this is compatible with the standard Godzilla, as he does have a hole in the back of his throat like this guy does. And you know, you can put it right back in, remove it, whatever you want to do. The translucent blue dorsal fins on the back over here look very, very nice. I like that the detail is very much still there. It's just translucent blue. I do wish the dorsal fins on the tail were also blue, but you know, I can take a hit there. Other than all of these blues, this is the exact same figure we just talked about. Let's move along. Mechagodzilla. Look at this lovely tin can. He is magnificent. And when it comes to my top 3 mini-mates, this guy is a major number 2 in the good way. He might be small, but he is cooked to near perfection with all of these details. It is a bit on the muddy side when it comes to the head, but just the fact that they were able to squeeze so much into this is very impressive, although the red circliers, his ears on the sides of his head, are a little bit on the messy side with, as you can see, some streaks where they don't need to be. Near perfect on the other side, though. And this Mechagodzilla looks kind of passive. It's like, do I want to do this today? Do I not want to do this today? But look at all of that magnificent detail on the throat, on the titties, and the crotch area. This is fantastic. Diamond Select just absolutely killed this, and the trimming over here, it's going to be painted all throughout the back as well, moving on to the side of the figure as well. Just super, super impressive. Truly. And moving on to the arms, we can see some print on over here with the standard MG. Heck, there's even little rivets on the joint over here. They painted that, and it does move. Yes, it does break illusion, but that is beautiful. And I especially love how beautifully they did the hands on this guy. Just look at that, man. And since the hands will be articulated, you can either have him in his karate chop form, or you can have him in a missile firing pose, which is really nice. The detail on the kneecaps, shins, and feet over here is really, really nice, and as you can see, they do come off. All the feet and the hands on these figures are able to come off, but look at that detail. Look at that paint. My god, they did such an amazing job on this. There's even detail on the back of the feet, which I didn't notice till just now. Back of the head, the dorsal fins, moving into this very cornucopia-looking tail over here. Mechagodzilla 1 is just fantastic. An easy representation of how great Diamond Select can truly be. Moving on to Jet Jaguar, though, he's probably the most basic of the Godzilla mini-mates, just because this is the closest that we get to a standard mini-mate in the Godzilla mini-mate series. He's even got a ball-jointed head. But I think Diamond Select did a rather lovely job with Jet Jaguar, especially when it comes to the printing over here. Making Jet Jaguar all Michelin Man-esque is pretty much impossible when you have a series of figures that are, you know, blocky. But I do feel Diamond Select did a pretty bang-up job. The details are very much on point. The paint is a tad messy on old Jet over here. And the printing for Jet's face is very clean. It just looks a little bit on the doofy side, but for the most part, Jet Jaguar turned out pretty dang awesome. And now we're moving on to my favorite Godzilla mini-mate of them all, Hedorah. The Smoggy Smog Gal is mostly a massive freaking brick because, let's be honest here, Hedorah is just one giant corrosive snot line in terms of a character, and her leg falls off rather easily. Whatever. You know, I'm just going to leave that foot off because it's just going to keep falling off. But this is, without a doubt, my very favorite mini-mate from Diamond Select. The eyes are perfectly printed on. The body is perfectly droopy. The paint might not be the best or wholly accurate, but look at this. This is awesome. I love it, I love it, I love it. I also love the goopy printing they did on the arms and on the legs over here. While most of it is hard to see because of this body piece, it's still so awesome. And I really just can't help but absolutely love Hedorah. Start to finish, paint to detail, print to articulation. Hedorah is, yeah, she's my favorite. My absolute favorite Godzilla mini-mate. Just like Series 1, I'm going to give everybody a solid star in terms of paint and detail. Godzilla's going to get that half star for likeness. But Hedorah, Jet, and Mecha G over here are going to get solid stars in terms of their likeness because they are just so properly done. Properly, amazingly, near perfectly, I really can't say anything bad about them. And while we're here, patrons, thank you so much for becoming ShinRobjira patrons. I absolutely appreciate it. Social media merch pages will be linked in the description below. Let's move on to the third and final line. Alrighty, Series 3. Clearly they wanted to finish this line off with a bang, so we got one extra figure in this in the two Mothra twins over here. One will be laying flat, the other will be angled up like so. So let's just move everybody else out of the way and talk about the two Mothra larvae. Now, the Mothra larvae are essentially two figures just laying on their sides with two different lower bodies, and I believe two different heads? No, those might actually be the exact same heads. The minimal paint used is rather nice, and I really love the detail on these. Detail fantastic, paint fantastic, love how the beautiful blue eyes were painted. I especially love how these little eyes were essentially sunken into the face, and these baby blue applications used for them really does just jettison itself into your retinas. And since the two Mothra larvae differ from the rest of the figures, I will say that you can swivel at the head. There is a ball joint in there, but the head will come off. You can swivel at the back as well, and it really doesn't leave you with many differing pieces there. But one other little option that these larvae came with was an alternate stand. You can either choose to use this contact lens or this. Now, originally I thought this was for Rodan, and I think it might actually still be for Rodan, but you can place the larva on there, make it look like they're jumping or soaring through the sky before they get their wings. It's compatible with both, so hey, go nuts with it, huh? I just noticed that the tips of their tails are even detailed to look somewhat accurate. That's really, really cool. Up next, here he comes. Here is Rodaniel, and holy god, that's terrifying. Diamond Select went kind of all out on this. They really added in the different hands over here with different portions of the wings, so it looked like Rodan had a proper wingspan over here. The only thing that I say Rodan really suffered from was the paint on the teeth. Yeah, not Diamond Select's greatest. Not even close. But the detail on the chest is fantastic. The printing on the fronts of the legs over here is fantastic. We even got differing feet. Because as you can see, we got the dew claws on the back of the feet over here, and they aren't as big and blocky and cardboard boxy looking like the Godzilla feet look. And I love that we have some light painting on the membranes of the wings over here, including on the back of the figure where we can see some dorsal spikes on Rodan's back and little Jody tail, which does not move. And for the most part, I've kind of just always kept Rodan like this, but I used to pose him on this stand over here in a bit of like a balancing act. I doubt I'll be able to do so now. And Viola, there he is. We balanced him out. And it really doesn't look all that great or make sense, but look at him. He's a flappy flap boy, and he's doing his flappy flap boy thing. Flapping amongst the winds of time and change and nature. The seasonal... Okay, we're done. Up next, we have Burning Godzilla, which, just like the Heat Ray version of Godzilla, is just the standard Godzilla with some new paint and some translucent dorsal fins on the back. Yet again, love that the detail stayed, and love that it's just translucent orange. This time, though, they did include orange paint for the dorsal fins on the tail, which I do appreciate. Just like Heat Ray Godzilla, you can take the liquid hot Cheeto out of Godzilla's mouth over here, and you can put it back in. It's just a translucent taco-looking thing. Still not the biggest fan of Godzilla's likeness, and the other major difference is just that we're going to get burning patches painted or printed on throughout Godzilla's body. You'll get them at the top of the arms over here, you'll get them on the front and sides of the thighs, including the chest, and nowhere else. I mean, realistically, where else could they put it? And this is probably my favorite Godzilla from the Mini-Mates line, but still, I just can't get over that dopey puppy look to him. Adorable, but nah. Moving on to my number 3, my third favorite Mini-Mates figure from Diamond Select's Mini-Mates line, that is Megalon. Also, my very first Megalon figure ever. Now, I've talked about this figure beforehand with my Megalon reviews, but I haven't really given him the spotlight, so here he is in the spotlight, and just look at this. They did such a great job with Megalon. From his buggy bug face to the bubble wand on his forehead, fully painted on both sides, mind you, to the jewel that's on his forehead but not painted, to the feathery neckerchief, to the weird cross on his body, to his singular toed feet, and to the mostly inaccurate drills on his hands, because as we all know, Megalon has half drills for hands, not full drills. I'm not saying that to complain, though. This still looks awesome. I love it. Flipping him to his backside, we get those lovely thunder strikes on his wings, and we get all of those spikes painted on his Tootsie Roll looking tail. Megalon is fantastic. Megalon, Mechagodzilla, and Hedorah, personally to me, are the strongest offerings from the Mini-Mates line from Diamond Select, and I'm really hoping Megalon gets turned into a Vinimate. I don't think he has just yet, and I hope it's still in the cards there, but just look at that. Look at the mouth. The mouth is properly detailed. The chest and the shoulder areas are properly detailed. The drills, yes, while inaccurate, look amazing. And the printed on little feathery scale-looking details on Megalon's thighs, legs, and arms over here are perfectly accurate, or as accurate as they could possibly get. And look at that, we even have exclusive Megalonian feet over here, which will feature the proper details needed to make it look like Megalon's foot. Look at that, man, there's even detail on the sides over here. Diamond Select, please, I'm begging you, please, just make bigger versions of these. Vinimates or not, make a whole new series if you want, I'll buy them. They're all gonna get solid stars in terms of paint and detail. Godzilla's gonna get the half star in terms of likeness, yada yada yada. I really don't have much else different to say here, but Megalon is fantastic, and this video is pretty much done. Genuinely couldn't be happier with these tiny things, and I hope Diamond Select does a little bit more with the license. I know they're doing those diorama gallery things, and I think they're still producing new Vinimates for their Vinimates line, but I'd like to see a little bit more come out of Diamond Select, and I hope that they're scheduled to do more, especially with Hedorah, Megalon, and Mechagodzilla. Anyway, I do so hope you enjoyed this video. This was a fun little video to finally get out. I've been meaning to do this video since like 2017. Whenever we meet next, it could be the next Rob's Godzilla Room Reviews video that I have scheduled to make, or it could be the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla Store exclusive Gorosaurus and Mechagodzilla. I have no idea, but I'm going to record another video today so you all have something to wait for while I'm waiting for them. Anyway, ShinRobjira, hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.